Well, our next guest is a new author aspiring to be a New York Times bestseller. Her new book, The Binding of the Bondage, focuses on one of the darkest but yet most important moments in her life. Now she's hoping her story gives readers hope, and that there's hope at the end of the tunnel. And joining us now to tell us more about her book, we welcome now author Asseta Ramsey. And Asseta, good to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so you've got the book and talking about the bondage and talk about binding bondage.
Yes, so this is my baby. It's titled The Bindings and the Bondage, and it's basically, it's my life story. It's my experience battling with bipolar depression. I've also struggled with homelessness, bullying, you name it. I've gone through it. And the book sets about 3 years back, and I was at a really broken place in my life, and I wanted to commit suicide. So I was going to Bronx Community College at the time, and I was going to jump in the Hudson right after I dropped my classes because, you know, I didn't want my mom to have a bill. And long story short, the school sent me to the Mark Zuckerhill Behavior Center, where not only did God speak to me, but he also brought back my love for writing. And I realized that a lot of my reasons for going through the things that I was going through and the struggling and stuff like that was because I also wasn't following my dreams. I had always knew I wanted to be a writer since 8 years old, but when I was getting ready to go to college, I had people that sat me down that it was out of love, but they were like, you live in the Bronx and we're struggling, and I had not felt the effects of being poor until I was 12. So at that time at 18, it was like, okay, what do you want to do with your life, Asseta? And I was like, I want to be a writer. And they're like, you're not. It's not that you're not good enough, but you're no Maya Angelou. So they were still telling me I wasn't good enough, and
Right.
And they were just like, where we come from, we're struggling. So what was more important was the money. And that's what I chased. I chased the money because I wanted to get out of the neighborhood that I was living in.
And let me jump in for a few
Yeah.
seconds. So you have a couple things that you fought against. Number one, you
Yeah.
talked about depression.
Yeah.
And you talked about, a bipolar disorder. Talk to us about how that affected you.
Oh, well, first off, I didn't even know that I was battling bipolar depression until I made it to the mental institution. I was having panic attacks out of nowhere. I didn't know what they meant. I didn't know what that was, and until I got to the mental institution, that's where they had diagnosed me and said that I was diagnosed with bipolar depression, based off of the description for what that means, which meant I was spending a lot of, one day I would just go off to random places in the States and, just max out my credit cards. And then those were called highs. And then I had really, really lows where I would just be so deep involved into myself, not speaking and crying a lot and things like that. And I just felt like I didn't have a voice because when you talk about battling depression, you get the sense that that people are going to think that you're crazy and that you can't speak to anybody because people are not going to understand what you felt. And at a point, I was trying to tell people, but people would say, oh, you'll be okay, you'll get over it. But what happens when you don't, And that was what I couldn't express to people. So, through Bronx Community College, talking to the counselor there, and then through the Mark Zuckerhill Behavior Center, they showed me how to get my emotions out to where I could express myself so that people understood what I was going through.
And what do you want people to take away from your experience, your time? Because you've had some good times, but then you've also had some real challenging times.
Yeah, I had some real challenging times, but the good thing that I want people to know is that I want people to give back labels that don't belong to them. So a lot of the times, I battle with bipolar depression, but it does not define my character at the end of the day. Just because you go through something doesn't mean, or just because you're from someplace doesn't mean that you have to become of it. So it's all about changing your perspective. So if you feel that you want to be great and that's what you feel in the inside, then you do that. Because a lot of the times, you know, we have a lot of fears and insecurities that says, oh, I can't speak about this because people are going to perceive me this way. Or I can't do this because what if it's not popular and everybody is not understanding? You do what's in your heart. So it's about giving back labels that don't belong to you, because you were not born stupid, dumb, not smart, not creative, not born to be successful. It's also about following your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations, and being the best person that God has created you to be, because we all were created here for a reason, and that's just to live our lives to the best that we can live it, and we can have that.
Since sharing your story, what's it been like for you? Obviously, what's been the response of people who've got a chance to hear a little bit about your life and your life story?
Since sharing my story, one, it has made me stronger because I'm not afraid to speak about it anymore. Before, when I first wrote the book, I cried a lot. You know, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of, you know, are people really going to want to hear what I have to say? And then as I began to share my testimony and share my story with people, I started to get other responses from people saying, you know what, I go through depression too. May not be the same depression that I'm going through, but any kind of form of depression, or I struggle with homelessness. I've been meeting a lot of people who are in homeless shelters that have been saying that, oh my God, I thought I was alone, and I thought that these feelings that I was feeling were only feelings that I was only going through. And I'm here to tell people that no, you're not alone, and that, you know, people want to be the best people that they can be. They just don't know how. And I hope that through my book and sharing my story, people get encouraged and get that fire spirit to tell their own stories, because your story is just another, you know, something more that can help somebody else that doesn't know where they're going. Whereas I'm battling depression and you know, going for my dreams. I can speak to that person that wants to go but's not doing it. You know, you just need a little bit more to know to teach somebody else, so everybody can teach somebody.
So before we go, let me tell people that the book is called The Binding and the Bondage, and
Yes.
Acetta's going to tell you, where can you get the book if people want to get it?
Okay, if people want to get the book, I have a website, acettaramsey.com. So you can order it on the website, and I mail it for right now. I also have Instagram, Periscope, and Facebook, Acetta Ramsey. But for buying purposes, the website. And, you know, I'm around. So I love the Bronx, and I want to thank you guys for this opportunity. Thank God for this opportunity. And I just hope to inspire and to uplift people.
Well, certainly your story is inspiring all by itself. And hopefully people will get the book to find out even more about who Acetta Ramsey really is and what you've overcome.
Yes,
Acetta,
please
thank
find
you.
out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and being with us, Acetta Ramsey.
Thank you so much.
Listen, taking a quick break. We're going to have more shows. Stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.